Hey, seventh graders. Hope you're doing well. All right, it's Monday, and we have today and tomorrow. Yay! This evening we have a visitor. Unicorn. All right. Anyways, let's get started for today. All right. Go into your Google Classroom. Okay. And hopefully you're watching the video. Make sure you have finished the quiz is in quiz over Dark They Were and Golden Eyed. That's all the way down here from the other day. Here's the quiz is. There's the actual quiz. Please make sure that you have finished those. Okay. All right. Next up, make sure you have finished Thursday's work, paragraphs 1 through 6. From Danger, This Mission to Mars Can Bore You to Death, and make sure you have finished Friday's work, okay? Because we are going to use those documents today. All right, so how we're going to use them is, before class, I want you to add 2 pieces of evidence to the class chart, most versus least convincing evidence, and I will talk about that with you, okay? And then during group, we're going to discuss the evidence. So we'll get into that here in a second. Don't forget to check out an ebook for break. That link to check out an ebook is down here. Okay, so you can read over break. We have school today and tomorrow this week. So break is from Wednesday, December 23rd to January 3rd, and we are back to virtual school January 4th. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we will all check in at our class time. Okay, 4th hour is 11:05, 6th hour is at 2. So there will not be a video tomorrow to watch before class, and we will not meet in groups tomorrow. We are meeting as one class tomorrow. Okay, all right. So you will need to open Thursday's assignment and Friday's assignment, and then you will open the class chart. So let's look at Thursday and Friday first, and then we're going to look at the class chart. So you should have opened up. Let me share my entire screen. Nope, hang on. All right. So we are going to open up Thursdays and Fridays. Okay, so we're going to have these both open. All right, so Thursday, you were supposed to read the first part of the article, and you were supposed to do one word down here. But it also talks about here some reasons that show that boredom is dangerous. Like, for example, chronic boredom correlates with depression and attention deficits. So that's going to come into play here in a second. So make sure that you have Thursdays open and Fridays. Fridays, the reason you need to have them both open is Friday, you were supposed to, 1, find evidence that was very convincing that boredom is dangerous, okay? Then you were supposed to find the least convincing, okay? We'll talk about that. And then the last question is, based only on this article, should we make a home in space, why or why not? And you were supposed to include evidence in here. Okay, so we're going to talk about that one in group especially. But all right, so let's look at this evidence right here. So you first off, don't forget your evidence tags. That chart is down here so you don't plagiarize. Okay. All right. So you were supposed to find evidence that shows that boredom is dangerous. Okay. And we found some and we discussed them as a group. Like, for example, right here. That should say in the text. Sorry. In the text, it states, the cognitive and social psychologist Peter Sudafed says that people will sometimes do reckless and stupid things when they suffer from chronic boredom. So clearly, it is dangerous, okay? Because they do reckless and stupid things. All right, so anyways, you were supposed to find evidence that proves that boredom is dangerous, okay? So you'll continue to find evidence, find as much evidence as you can. Like even from Thursdays, chronic boredom correlates with depression and attention deficits. Okay, well, that clearly shows that it's dangerous right there, okay? So, anyways, you should have these arguments already there. So we're going to take these and we're going to work in this document. This document is the class chart. So open up the class chart, most versus least convincing evidence. Okay, open that up. All right, so let's look at the directions really quickly. First and foremost, the entire class is working on this document. So do not delete anything. Only add to the document, okay? Don't delete somebody else's work. That's not for you to do, okay? Only add to things. And if you think you can do it without me noticing, actually it tells me exactly who deletes things. It'll say in the history who is the one that deleted things. So don't do that, okay? All right, so again, just add to it, thanks. All right, so it says open both documents from Thursday and Friday so the entire article on danger of this mission to Mars could bore you to death. So you have the whole thing open. All right, we have that. You were to have found evidence that supported the argument that boredom is dangerous. Okay, we talked about that. You were supposed to find evidence in the article. All right, next, this is where this comes in, okay? It says copy and paste that evidence that you already found and put it in whichever column you think it should go, most convincing or least convincing. And I want you to do at least 2 pieces of evidence, one in the most convincing evidence and one in the least convincing evidence. If you disagree with something, no worries. We will discuss it in our groups. Don't write anything mean down and don't delete anything. So if you think somebody put something in the wrong column, just ignore it. Don't mess with it. Only mess with your additions, okay? All right, so you're going to decide, is the evidence that you found very convincing or not so convincing? And you're going to put it where you think you should put it. You're more than welcome to put your initials if you want. You do not have to, okay? But the other reason, besides we're going to debate these things and talk about them in our groups, the other reason is it's going to help you on your assignment, just in case you didn't find this piece of evidence, but somebody else did. So you can add to your Friday assignment. See? All right. So I think this, in the text, it states the cognitive and social psychologist Peter Sudfeld says that people will sometimes do reckless, stupid things when they suffer from chronic boredom. I think that is a very convincing argument that it's dangerous. So I'm going to put it over here, okay, in the most convincing area. So just copy and paste it over there, okay? All right, for the least convincing, maybe, let's see. How about, we'll just, for right now, say that this one, more important, Dinkert and Kring say bored people are also prone to taking risks, subconsciously seeking out stimulation when their environment bores them. Maybe we'll say that's least convincing, although I think it's pretty convincing. But anyways, so I'll put that in the least convincing side, okay? Now, again, you can put your initials down if you want. You don't have to. I'm not going to force you into it, okay? And then we're going to discuss these in groups. And maybe we're going to talk about, well, maybe this should have gone over to the more side, the most side. And so then we would discuss it, and then I would move it, not you. Don't touch other people's stuff. And then I would move it, okay? So we're going to discuss these in groups. Again, the whole class is working on this. Do not delete anybody's work, okay? But you can copy and paste some of this into your document if you need to add to your Friday's one, Okay. Don't forget the question down here because I think it's interesting. So based on this article, should we make a home in space? So you have to think about, what are they talking about here? Boredom when to Mars? Like danger this mission to Mars could bore you to death? Think about that. If it could bore you to death, or are they figuring out how to fix it? I don't know. So you have to think about that. So based on this article, and this article only, nothing else, should we make a home in space? Okay. Don't bring in other information like, well, in the other story we read, they became Martians. No, 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 no. Only this article. Only this article. Should we make a home in space or not? Okay. So you should be putting evidence here, least and most convincing. Then you're going to take it and copy and paste it where you think it needs to go in the class document. All right, class chart. Okay, at the top so you're not confused. Okay, remember we do not delete anything. Okay, and then we're going to talk about it when you guys come in for your groups. If you have any questions, you could totally ask me during group. So now it's time for you to get working so we can have a productive group time. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and I will see you soon.